and also Acts 11. Acts 10, God crossed the line by giving a vision to Cornelius, a Gentile, a Roman official, non-Jew, and also giving a vision to Peter, a believing Jew, but a hardcore practicing Jew. This week, today, we're going to see the church react when God crosses their line. Let me just recap. Cornelius, a devout, spiritual, moral, God-fearing man of the Israelites, of the Jews, but he was uncircumcised. And not just because he was uncircumcised, he did not believe in Jesus. He didn't hear the good news of Jesus yet. And even though he was a good person, he needed the gospel. He needed salvation. And we also see the conversion of Peter, a Christian leader. He needed a change, a convert. Not because he didn't have Jesus, he did. But he still had his racism. He still had things in his life that was not touched by the truth of the gospel. God shows Peter, do not call any person or anything unclean. And he wasn't talking about food, was he? He was talking about people. The whole vision thing was about how we should look at others and even ourselves. Up until now, Jews believed that they were pure and clean, and they would stay pure and clean by following the Levitical dietary laws, the Levitical purity laws. And according to the laws, there were foods that you could eat and foods that you could not eat. There were clothes that you could wear and clothes that you could not wear. There are things that you could touch and things and people that you could not touch. The dietary laws were given by God. Why? Not to change their diet, but to distinguish them from every other culture. You are my special chosen people. These laws don't make you holy, I'm holy. And I want you to know that by your diet and by what you wear, what you do, you know that you are my special people. And other people will know that you are my special people. It wasn't to make them prideful over others or make them feel more superior over others, but to remind them of God's grace in choosing them. However, God's people, the Jews, they distorted this. And in order to strictly keep these dietary laws, they created other man-made rules to keep them from breaking God's laws. And it created racism in them. And it created bigotry in them. So the rule was this: the clean could be unclean through unclean things and people. Do not eat unclean things, Levitical dietary laws. Do not touch unclean things or people. The clean could be made unclean through the unclean. So not only did they see Gentiles as unclean, but they saw themselves as cleaner than them, better than them. A popular or common Jewish prayer for a man was this: God, thank you that I am not a Gentile. They would thank God that they were not someone like them, the Gentiles. Here's the irony. Clean things didn't make unclean things clean. When clean things touch an unclean thing, it wouldn't make that clean. But when a clean thing touches something unclean, it would make that clean thing unclean. Are you following? We're going to look at why. Why didn't clean things make unclean things clean? And we're going to see that it did in the New Testament. Specifically, it did through Jesus. We're going to look at how some system could still operate without the gospel truth, and how a new system, because of the power and truth of the gospel, totally turns it upside down. 3 points I want to make. The old system, the new system, and the practical system. Old system, new system, practical system. The old system. It says in Acts 11 that Peter went up to Jerusalem to give a report. And the circumcision party said, "Why did you eat with those Gentiles?" They criticized him. They didn't celebrate the salvation of the Gentiles. They didn't rejoice that the Holy Spirit came upon them. They asked, why? Why did you go in and eat? They were more concerned about who Peter ate with than who God saved. Unbelievable. These are Jesus-believing Jews, the circumcision party. They have been saved by putting their faith in Jesus. Look at this. They were anointed by the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. The Holy Spirit came upon them. And yet, they were not changed.